I'm going to share the screen because today is a fantastic day to be alive and share life. Welcome to Froggy Friday, April 28th, 2023. My name is Reverend Barbara Samuel, and I am co-spiritual leader along with Reverend Gwen, who is unable to attend today. Sends her love always. I want to let you know that today we have in the house Reverend Claire Summerhill. She is gifting us and blessing us with her wisdom as she shares her talk today titled The Garden of Our Life. How's everybody doing today? Show me some spirit fingers. Come on, show me some love. Ow, I'm so happy to see you. Our lives are always better when we share it together, yes? So without hesitation, without reservation, I'd like us to start as we do all things in this teaching. The Science of Mind espouses a beautiful philosophy and a way to change your life. And that way is through what we call spiritual mind treatment. So I'd like to invite Michelle to open us up with treatment, and then we will have Nancy go into our meditation immediately following that, Nancy. And then we'll get into our beautiful day. Go ahead, take it away, Michelle.
And so we center ourselves in this time and place, this sacred space. We simply open up to the oneness, the allness of God. That's the truth of each and every one of us, and that is what this time together is. It is God meeting God. We have come together today to celebrate, to connect, to share, to just be with one another, no matter the distance. For there is only this one. And so we open to this message. We allow it to infuse our souls, and remember, as we go forward into the week, we carry this with us, this reminder of the truth. I'm so grateful, so very grateful for this opportunity to connect and to be together. And so it is.
So it is.
And so it is.
I invite you to take a deep breath. And as you notice your breathing, turn your attention inward. Allow your mind to settle into ease. And just breathe. Imagine a loving field of light surrounding you, wrapping itself around you like a warm blanket. Feel loved, feel secure, and allow yourself to settle into this knowing. Knowing that you are loved and that you're guided. There is only love. And breathe. Allow yourself to settle in deeper. All is well, all is peaceful, and you're surrounded by this loving light. And let's take a moment and settle there for a minute or two. And we breathe, feeling loved, feeling peace all around us. And begin to bring your awareness slowly back into the present moment. And we breathe. And come back into the room when you're ready.
Thank you, Nancy. How beautiful and calming and peaceful it is to hear your voice after spending so much time with you, and to just melt into this meditation this morning is magnificent. Thank you for that powerful treatment, Michelle. What a beautiful combination of coming together in community. And before we go any further, I want to remind you that we have another Froggy Friday. So mark your calendar. It is Friday, the 12th of May, which here will be a Mother's Day weekend. Do we have Mother's Day in Kenya? Give me a show of hands. And is it on that weekend? Yes, Philip, thank you. So mark your calendars now to bring your mamas, to bring your sisters, to bring your beloveds, your wives, and help them and inspire them, your sisters, to share life together here. Michelle, do you want to quickly say what's coming up in terms of announcements, classes, or?
Oi, oi, well, let me see. So we have a new class starting that Karen and I are doing called Prosperity Through Personal Transformation. It's based around what I learned about changing my life from a story of poverty to abundance and thriving. If I look here, next Friday we'll be visioning Cinco de Mayo. That's when we all make Mexican food. So I know you guys have no clue because no one taught you how to make tacos. But one day I will. I will come and teach you how to make tacos. I think that's pretty much all we have. Pat, I don't know, can they join the still join the leadership class?
Yeah, tomorrow will be our second class. So if anyone is still interested, just let me know or let Nancy know that you are interested in coming to the 15 commitments of conscious leadership. And we're just going to be diving into the first commitment.
I love that.
Great. And I'm going to be putting together a calendar, and Nancy will have a calendar as well. I did try to put it out on the website. I was not successful, but I'll post a monthly calendar so you guys can plan ahead. I know you guys are all about your day planners.
Huh. Thank you, Michelle, for guiding us there. And thank you, Pat, for your input. I think every one of our Conscious Living Foundation board members should be on that leadership course. And I think all of our practitioner students and ministerial students. And so if you hear me saying that they should be on it, everyone in this community has the power to lead and shine and support. So as we do all things, we've done our treatment, we've done our meditation. Here's my favorite part. Will you help me sing? We are one people, one strong heartbeat, just one spirit shining bright within us all. We are part of one another, born to love each other. When it's all said and done, we are one. Go, we are one people, one strong heartbeat, just one spirit shining bright within us all. We are part of one another, born to love each other. When it's all said and done, we are one. Muthoni, go.
We are one people, one strong heartbeat, just one spirit shining bright within us all. We are part of one another, born to love each other. When it's all said and done, we are one.
When it's all said and done, let me see those spirit fingers. It's our signature move right here in Kenya. We are one. Yeah. Muthoni, thank you for your flexibility and sharing your beautiful voice. Oh, okay. Friends, we are supported by a community that is greater and grander than you can imagine. It is global and it supports this Center for Spiritual Living Kenya. And part of the greatest parts of what we get to share is the wisdom. When somebody comes into our layer and they are willing to share their joy, their wisdom, their life experience of this teaching of the science of mind, we are blessed. I am thirsty for this wisdom that this beautiful soul gets to share with us. She's so wise, she's so kind, she's so patient. I'm a handful. Her and Michelle, they handle me. I'm just saying. It is my joy as we welcome to our Zoom room stage, global, everywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, put your loving hands together for our beautiful Reverend Claire Summerhill. Woo! The garden of our life. Welcome, Rev Claire.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, and welcome to all of you to our Froggy Friday service. I'm so glad each of you has decided to join us today, and I thank Michelle and Nancy for creating this space where we could come together. It's a wonderful gift for us to be on this journey together, this journey of discovery and awakening. At Centers for Spiritual Living, we ask the deep questions. Who am I? What am I called to do? What are my unique gifts and talents? How can I best serve? What can I do to bring a world that works for everyone and all of creation? And as we ask these questions, which are questions that fascinate me and we also have another underlying question, which is, where can I turn for help in doing this? Not only in discovering the answers to the questions, but now what do I do? How do I take action? What do I do next? So of course, that's what we do when we come together in our classes, our gatherings, our meetings. We explore these questions. We look at the processes to support each other on our path. As we come together and Froggy Friday, this is where we create a space where we can be open to inspiration, to love, to feel that in so many different ways, through music and meditation, affirmations, messages. And then we talk about, okay, now what? What kind of action? What's next for me to do? So tonight, I'm going to share a little parable with you that illustrates how this creative process works. We return to this again and again because it's at the base of all we teach. How do I create? I am blessed with an incredible creative power as I welcome and open myself to spirit. And so this is a story about how to do that. Now, those of you who know me know that I love stories and parables. And there are many different reasons for this. And one is stories make it easier for me to remember the truth. And they provide insights into how reality works. Sometimes we act like reality doesn't apply to us, but it does. Reality is always the same, always consistent. Ernest Holmes sometimes called it the law, the love, reality that's everywhere present, absolutely consistent. And the second thing I love about stories is they remind me that I'm not alone. When I see other people or the characters in these little stories, it reminds me, hey, I'm on that journey as well. And I've spent a lot of time teaching children, and I sort of figured out if I can explain something in a way a child can understand it, then maybe I can get it. Sometimes we make things kind of complicated. So that's the other reason I like stories. So this is a parable called The Garden. And I'm indebted to Arthur Lobel. He's the one who originally wrote this story. Now, this story is about a frog and a toad. And of course, we know that Reverend Connie loved frogs. And we call our gathering Froggy Friday, for full realization of God. Now, in this story, it's kind of interesting because the frog is kind of like the infinite, just always loving, always supportive, always positive, joyful, exuberant, love that's always present. That's who the frog kind of represents in this story. And of course, always a good and helpful friend. Now, in the story, Toad is kind of like all of us. A little fearful, a little negative sometimes kind of confused, kind of worrying a lot, believing it's up to him to make things happen, if anything's going to happen. But of course, like us, he's doing the best he can. He's trying, he's out there, and that has a lot to teach us. So here's our little story. Oh, shoot. I hope I have the sound. Just a minute. Michelle, you're going to have to remind me how to make the sound come. Sorry.
You need to exit out, Claire, exit out of there.
Okay.
Stop sharing.
Stop share.
Stop share. And then go back to hit share again. And then down at the very bottom, there's a little box that says sound, and you just tick that.
Oh my gosh, isn't it wonderful to have wonderful help here? Okay.
What a fine garden you have, Frog.
Well, yes, it is very nice, but it was hard work.
I wish I had a garden.
Well, here are some flower seeds. Plant them in the ground, and soon you will have a garden.
How soon?
Quite soon.
Cover that up a little bit. Now, seeds, start growing. Now, seeds, start growing. Now, seeds, start growing.
What's all the noise?
My seeds won't grow.
Well, you're shouting too much. These poor seeds are afraid to grow.
My seeds are afraid to grow?
Of course. Leave them alone for a few days. Let the sun shine on them. Let the rain fall on them. Soon your seeds will start to grow.
Drat, my seeds haven't started to grow. They must be afraid of the dark. I will read the seeds a story. Then they won't be afraid. He saw a brilliant rainbow stretching across the sky. I've heard, said the frog, there is a cave filled with gold at the place where the rainbow ends. Sweet little seeds, I love you so. Are you afraid of me? Why don't you grow, oh, oh, grow, oh, oh, grow, grow, grow? Will you grow? When the air does laugh with our merry wit, and the green hill laughs with the noise of it, come live and be merry, and join with me to sing the sweet chorus of ha, ha, he. What shall I do? These must be the most frightened seeds in the whole world.
Toad, Toad, wake up! Look at your garden.
Oh, at last my seeds have stopped being afraid to grow.
And now you'll have a nice garden, too.
Yes, but you were right, Frog. It was very hard work.
Okay, so now that little story actually tells us everything we need to know about the creative process and about how reality works. But let's look at it. You know, what's funny is even little children get from this story that it wasn't Toad's hard work that made those seeds grow. It's the nature of seeds to grow. But let's look at what this story tells us. So, what was the first thing that happened? Toad noticed what was around him. He was paying attention. He noticed Frog's garden. This is the part of our lives where we're awakening, where we're open to the messages the universe is always sending us, always talking to us. Sometimes the noticing part can be a little difficult because sometimes that's when we notice what's lacking in our lives. but that's all right. That's part of the noticing. That's part of the being awake, being aware of what's going on around us. Now, second, Toad stated his desire clearly. I want a garden. He made it clear. You know, we know that we're surrounded by infinite God stuff, just eager and ready to burst into form. But we got to create that mental equivalent, the mold for that God stuff to come into being. And of course, the universe doesn't care whether what we want is peace and quiet or whether we want adventure and excitement. If we want safety or if we want change and the unexpected, it's all good, but we have to be clear on it. You know, maybe our intention is, let me be an instrument of thy peace. Show me what I can do to serve. And sometimes in this, of course, people get a little confused about the manifestation process and this learning how to bring things into form. In my way of thinking, demonstration is not about things. Demonstrating things is just a way to practice our creative power. Demonstrating money or material things, then we practice so that when we get to the really big things, like creating a world that works for everyone, creating love, creating a sense of accepting our own power, then we know how to do that. We can take on bigger and bigger things. So first, Toad noticed. Second, he stated his desire clearly. Now, the third piece, Toad accepted support. Frog said, here are some seeds. And Toad accepted those. How often do we, when people are trying to support us and offering help, say, I don't need that, I got it, I can manage, I'll take care of it. No, Toad accepted Frog's support. He took the seeds. So notice, state your desire, accept support. What did he do next? He took action. Now, of course, he planted the seeds. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know how to make them grow, but he did the best he could. An idea came, he tried it. So he didn't let not knowing stop him. I'll try something. Of course, then nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. He's done his part. He's gone through these steps, still no seeds growing. Now what does he do? Again, he reaches out. He goes to Frog. My seeds aren't growing. What's happening? Frog says, maybe it's about fear. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe that's what's stopping your seeds from growing. Of course, we know that it wasn't really the seeds that were afraid. It was Toad that was afraid. What if my seeds don't grow? What if I can't have a beautiful garden? So then what happened? This is one of the most interesting parts of this story. Toad turned to his spiritual practices. So he brought candles, represents meditation. He told stories. He sang songs. He read poetry. All of this represents a sacred study, taking classes, singing songs, music represents our coming together. He did everything. He turned to his spiritual practices. And then what? What's next? Surrender. He gave up trying. In the story, he fell asleep. Okay, I've done all I know to do. I've got help. I've tried all my spiritual practices. Now I'm just going to let go. And he falls asleep. And then the final step of the creative process, but such an important one, gratitude. At the end, he wakes up, he sees his beautiful garden. All he has to do is be grateful and happy. Now, so there's a couple more significant things that I want you to take away with this story. So, how often are we like Toad and we think results come about because of our hard work? Even at the end, gone through all of that, and what does he say? That was hard work. And we often kind of get trapped in that. It's up to us. It's our hard work that makes things happen. And kind of the sad piece of that is if we don't get results or we're not seeing the results we've wanted, if our seeds aren't yet sprouting, we blame ourselves. Maybe you guys don't do this, but I am so good at this. Like, oh, it's because I didn't work hard enough. I didn't try hard enough. That's why it's not happening. You know, think of the stress and the anxiety these beliefs cause when we think it's up to me. Now, the parts that are up to us are clear. Stating our intention, accepting help that's offered, requesting help when we need it, using our spiritual practices. That's our part in it. And as long as we're doing that, then like, you know, Frog in this story had no doubt, of course, that the seeds would grow. Toad is us, scared, worried, trying, thinking it's up to us. Of course, the other clear message from this story is that all of Toad's work, bringing candles and singing and playing his violin and reading stories, did that change the seeds? Of course not. But it changed him. It changed him so that he was ready for the garden to appear, for that beauty to show up. As you read Ernest Holmes, he returns again and again to this message because it's at the heart of who we are as expressions of the divine. Well, the very first story in the Bible is the creation story. Why is that? Because that is one of the most important concepts for us to get. By joining with the power of the infinite, have the ability to create. Here's something Ernest Holmes said about that I really like. What we need to know is the truth. This does not mean that we need not be active. Of course we shall be active, but we need not compel things to happen. Remember, we're surrounded by a creative consciousness, which is receptive, neutral, impersonal, always receiving the impress of our thought upon it, and which has no alternative other than to operate directly upon it, thus creating the things which we think. It's Ernest Holmes saying, Toad's garden had no alternative but to grow. Now, whenever I tell parables, I like to think of where am I in that parable? And how do each of the characters in the parable or the parts of it represent where I am? So you look at Frog. You know, he demonstrates for us the values of love, acceptance, service, support, friendship, wisdom, allowing, surrendering. Does he get angry at Toad? And you, hey, how many times do I have to tell you? No, he just stays there. He's supportive. He knows the truth. And what does Toad represent? I said, Toad's kind of like us in this story. And he's an example of curiosity, of willingness, of persistence, of work, of enthusiasm, taking action. And all of these are important. So my encouragement to you is to think about this little story. Think about those steps of the creative process. And you might think about which one of those, or several of them, are the ones that are the challenge for you. Because all of us are kind of challenged in different parts of this. So we may be pretty good at paying attention, at noticing what's going on around us and listening to our intuition, listening to those messages. We may be pretty good at stating our desire clearly. These are our affirmations and so on. Maybe what's a challenge for us is accepting the love and support. This is one of the ones that's been a challenge for me. I'm a person who just thinks I ought to be able to handle it by myself. Maybe that's where our challenge is. Maybe our challenge is in the taking action part. Like we're thinking, well, I don't know what to do. And what if I do that? It's not the right thing. Or what if I do that? Or I don't want to waste my energy. And so we're waffling around. Maybe that's the part that's difficult for us. For other people, maybe that's the easy part. They're forging ahead, taking action, taking action. Maybe a part I think that many of us have challenges with is facing our fear. Accepting it, acknowledging that we're afraid, but moving on anyway. Or maybe the one that's a challenge for you is the surrender piece at the end, the letting go. How many of us think, no, I want to do it my way. I know how it needs to go. It needs to look like this. When now it's the time to let it go, to let it be. What a beautiful image of the toad after all his work, staying up all night in the rain, singing and meditating, reading, and finally what happens? Just falls asleep, lets it go. And then he wakes up to see what he wanted, the intention that he stated has come to pass. So, Reverend Connie used to say, watch for frogs. So I encourage you to do that, to watch for frogs, do your part to accept and to bring about the full realization of God in you, in your families, in our community, in the world. Let that energy flow through you. Notice what's going on. Ask for help, take action, and be part of creating a world that works for everyone. Thank you. Namaste.
Oh, thank you, Reverend Claire. What a beautiful storyteller you are, and so poignant and breaking it down piece by piece. Thank you for that. What a magnificent talk. Thank you. We're so lucky and blessed to have you in our community. So I want to remind everybody that registration is open for our 2024 Heart of Africa Conference. We have registration open for our North American friends. We have registration open for our Kenyan family. Go to cslkenya.org. You'll be directed to email, and we will be in communication. By the end of May is the early bird opportunity for you. So I want to make sure that you leave with that information. Now is the time for us to prepare. If you need spiritual mind treatment. We can break off into rooms and we'll pair you with a practitioner. Based on Reverend Claire's sharing today in her talk today, something might have percolated, something might have sparked you where you think, oh, I need to be able to have some treatment to move through to get to those next stages of that manifestation that I've been longing for. And I want to remind you that that manifestation is longing for you as much as you are longing for it. So we have a couple of things that we do at this point, and one of them is preparing you for class, or preparing you for treatment. So if you want a 2-minute miracle or some time with a practitioner, put your hand up. I see Maureen is that okay? And I see Tendai. Thank you. Muthoni has raised her hand. We're going to pair you with practitioners for your treatment. So you stick around. And right now, what we're going to do is we're going to repeat our affirmations for our offertory. So this is the moment where you get to continue to support our center. Our center is run off 100% by donations, by your love offerings, and by the gifts that you give to the center, financial gifts. So if you are in Kenya, you can contact Nancy and you can use the M-Pesa account. If you are in North America, you can go to cslkenya.org again, press PayPal. If you're in Canada, you can e-transfer. We are ready to receive your love offerings. And with that, I would love if you would repeat with me. I will repeat this, and then you will say it after me. So unmute, everybody unmute. These are our offertory affirmations. Unmute. I will say it first and you will repeat. I am filled with the energy of abundance.
I am filled with the energy of abundance.
I am willing to share my financial good with my spiritual community.
I am willing to share my financial good with my spiritual community.
And I'm just going to say that first one more time, and I want you to just claim it. I am filled with the energy of abundance. Go.
I am filled with the abundance.
I hear you. And that's how we claim it. That's how we do it. Reverend Claire, there may be some questions for you. If you have a question for Reverend Claire, just unmute yourself and share. Mostly gratitude and love your way. You said it so clearly and so succinctly, Reverend Claire. Thank you so much. I just feel like it's been such a beautiful day that we should share. What do you think? Some more song. What do you think? Do another tune? All right, let's do it. This is Karen Drucker. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing day. This healing day. I want to say thank you for my health, Spirit. Thank you for my health. Thank you for my health, Spirit. Thank you for my health. My radiant health. My radiant health. I want to say thank you for my wealth, Spirit. Thank you for my wealth. Thank you for my wealth, Spirit. Thank you for my wealth. My opulent wealth, my opulent wealth. Sing it with me. Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life.
Thank you for my life, Spirit.
Spirit, thank you for my life. My glorious life. My glorious life. Look at the sunbeams coming down on me. Woo! So This is our Froggy Friday. This is the life that we share together. I bless you. I thank you. I'm going to invite Paul to do our benediction, and then we'll break off into rooms on behalf of Reverend Gwen and I. Keep shining your light bright. Keep saying yes to all the good things in life. We bless you, Reverend Claire. We're grateful for you. Thank you, Nancy and Michelle, for helping us out, and Reverend Pat today.
So,
It's all you.
Barb, the practitioners need to stay on. They, after.
Yes. Prax, please stay on. We're putting you to work. You got service to do. Go ahead, Paul.
Thank you, Reverend Barbara. Thank you, Reverend Claire. Please join me as I take this moment to appreciate and remember this wonderful truth that we are one, and that we have been nourished with this wisdom from Reverend Claire. And as we end this session, as we go back to our other activities, the truth still stays with us, that we are one and we are surrounded by this creative process. I'm grateful for this. And until we meet again, I know we are all perfectly guarded and guided. And so it is.
So it is.
So it is. Thank you for
Yes.
stepping in, Paul.
Right.
All right. Continue to stay on if you're requesting treatment. If not, go do the rest of your day. Whether it's evening or day, I know that you will be blessed and fulfilled and safe and happy and abundant with the love of our community. Go forth and shine the love and light you are.
All right, so I have,
I'll stop recording.
I have Jane.